Hey everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. I'm here to talk to you about this game, and I apologize I don't have a box, but I do have this cool banner called Punch'Em, Scrunch'Em Robots. And when I was contacted about this game, I was like, so, you know, and obviously you think Rock'em Sock'em Robots, right? You know, and you know, I mean, technically I'm sure that was the inspiration of the game, but the idea of robots beating the heck out of each other is something that has existed for a long time. I mean, there was like, before Rock'em Sock'em Robots, I'm sure there was something before that, and then after that, of course, you know, I remember watching movies like Mega Jocks and things like that, and also like Futurama had Total Robot Wrestling or whatever, which had robots beating the heck out of each other and so on. But this is a game for up to 6 people, 2 to 6 people, where these robots basically are sent to this planet where they proceed to battle it out until one person stands. And, you know, like, as you get knocked out, this has player elimination, you know, so, like, this is kind of an old school game, old school feel game. But, and as your robot takes damage and gets knocked out, then you're out, and then you gotta wait and see who wins the game, and then you play again. But the game doesn't take a long time to play. It is relatively quick and very brutal, but with all the dice rolling and all the card playing and all the take that and the negotiations and the treaties and the backstabbers and what have you, it is just a big giant dice fest. But that is the type of game that I really enjoy, and it kind of takes me back to kind of my old school gaming as I was growing up. And so since I have this game group that I've known for pretty much my entire life, this was a kind of welcome return for all of us, just to relive our childhood in a way, if you will. So let me show you how to play Punch'Em, Scrunch'Em Robots. I realize I just said it was kind of a dice fest, but there is actually some pretty cool card play that goes on during the game, and some clever decisions that you have to make as you play. But bear in mind, I mean, you are going to be rolling lots of dice. You might even wear your dice out as you play this game. So, alright, here you go. This is how you play the Punch'Em, the Scrunch'Em Robots, and then we'll get back here and I'll tell you exactly what I think. Alright, this is Punch'Em, Scrunch'Em Robots. It shouldn't take long to show you how to play. There are these 2 decks of cards. Remember, this is a print and play, so I don't have any card backs or anything like that. But this deck is action cards, and this deck is planetary cards. And I'll explain those in just a few moments here. You will need, or each person should have, a 6-sided die, because you'll need that when you are combating the other robots and trying to defeat them. And then here we have, this is the roster sheet of the different robots that you have available to you. These should be on like cards or whatever. Once again, remember, this is print and play, and I just want to be able to show you all the robots as you can see. And like, so each robot has stats. So like, here's Mega Punch. He has a speed of 2, a power of 5, and an AI of 2. And then he has special ability of may use an action to exchange up to 3 cards in his hand for new cards. And then so, you know, that's like a power guy, obviously. And then so like here we have like a speed guy, Smokescreen. Speed of 4, power of 3, artificial intelligence of 2, may use an action to replay any one action card once per round. And then like an AI guy would be like Bright Beam up here with a speed 3, power 2, AI 4. And he can use an action to draw a new card once per round. So each person will get a robot. You can randomly pick. You can roll the die, and each person picks one or whatever. But regardless, you'll have that. And then you got to decide if you're going to have a quick, a short, or a long game. Basically, then the robots have 10, 15, or 20 hit points. And you decide that. You know, we play usually with the 15. Just seems to work really well. 10 seems to last way too short, you know, as far as the damage goes. So, alright, so then each person will get 3 action cards, start the game, and then you just start up with one person, and then they'll take their 2 actions, and then they use their actions by either playing a card from their hand, or by using the action of the robot that they have, their little special ability, or they can draw a planetary card. Now, action cards come in 4 different types. An AI card, which is this, a speed card, which is this, power card, and a rainbow card. Now these are important. Well, let me just show you those real quick. So like this is an AI card. You can tell it says AI down here. Costs 1 action to do. Drain, deal 2 damage, and receive 2 hit points if it succeeds. A quick jab. You can see it's S for speed. It's 1 action. Punch opposing bot, deal 1 damage, and force bot to discard 1 card. So there you go. And then like here's a punch, where it's a punch. You can see it's a power card down there with a P, and then action, deal power damage to one bot. So if you succeed with your punch, then you would do whatever the power value of your robot is. Then that would be the damage that you do. Now you might be saying, how do you succeed? Well, let's say you're going to do this ability, which is the punch, and you're going to be with Mega Punch here. He has a power of 5, so when you say I'm going to punch you pick somebody else that you're playing against. You roll the die, and as long as you roll the number or less than the power or the value of the stat, then it succeeds. Now, if I were to roll a 6, it would fail, but it's a very special rule. You can always discard a card from your hand to do a reroll. And so you can get, so even if see how Mega Punch doesn't have really good speed or AI, you're thinking, well, this card isn't any good for him because he has to roll a 1 or 2 for it to succeed. Well, he can always use it to discard for a reroll. So it's something good there. These cards are rainbow cards. You can see it has all three colors, and that means that they're kind of like a universal card. So this one says deal damage equal to number of cards in opposing bot's hand. It's an action, and then if you do this, you just roll whatever stat is the highest. So if you were the mainframe with an AI of 4, power of 3, and a speed of 2, and you used the equalizer card, you would have to roll 4 or less, and you'd succeed with that too. Pretty simple. So, after you've taken your 2 actions, you then draw 3 cards out of this deck, and then play goes to the next person. Now, if you don't want to play a card, or you can't, or you don't want to do your thing, then you have to draw planetary cards for each action that you want. You can draw 2 if you want, and just take no actions. Also, I should mention, and I'm going to have to try to find one here, there are cards that actually take 2 actions. You can see here, Ultra Snatch, steal 2 cards from an opposing bot. And so that would be your entire turn with your 2 actions if you used that particular card. Now, I mentioned planetary cards, and really briefly, planetary cards are a planetary effect. They cost an action to use. You can draw them, and then they have a planetary effect that can affect other bots and also can affect multiple bots. So, here we have Catastrophic Comet. The bot that you target takes 5 points damage, and all other bots take 2 points damage. So you can see that affects everyone, including you. Paranormal Activity. All destroyed bots come back to life with 2 hit points. And then, or Solar Tornado. Choose one of the bot to be pulled into a tornado with your bot. Bots take dice damage rolled by you. So you can drag some guy maybe that's weak, and then hopefully you kill him off without damaging yourself. And so the planetary cards are also cards that, like I said, take an action, but they have that they can have that universal effect. They don't all do that. They can, some of them are to repair yourself, bot fashions new armor, gains 2 hit points, stuff like that. Or, you can harvest energy, gain 3 hit points, or bot hacked by a distant planet loses 2 hit points. And the good thing I said that hacked, actually there are cards in here that allow you, I'm going to find one now, take 0 actions, and then you can play them to react. Here's a block card. Play when attacked, reduce the incoming damage by 2, and it's a 0 action card, so you can just play it. And that's one of the things that does matter in this game, is that when somebody declares that they're going to attack somebody and use a certain card, you have to give the other players a couple of seconds to decide that they're going to play a card or not. You can't just say, yeah, I'm going to play this card, I'm going to go and roll a die! You can't do it like that. You got to give somebody a chance. And there's also cards here, like Hacker. This is a pretty important card. Cancel 1 action anytime. It has to be played before the dice roll. And it's 0 actions. Now, the cool thing is that if you hack somebody's action, somebody else can hack your hack, so you can actually double hack those things as well. So, there you go. The game isn't tough to play. It's just having the right cards at the right time, having a few lucky die rolls, and of course the open negotiation at our table is a constant thing where everybody's kind of working together to maybe gang up on one person if they're getting too powerful, or people are forging, if it's kind of like a Royal Rumble where a couple of people, a couple of wrestlers, a couple of bots work together for a while, but it's only so long before somebody turns on the other one, and then they take the chance of knocking them out as well. But so there you go. I apologize. Like I said, this is a print and play, so bear in mind this is the prototype art, and the artwork that is going to be on the cards and everything in the future is nothing like this. But this is a fully functional game, and I've had a lot of fun playing it. So let me tell you more about that in my conclusion. As a child of the 70s, I was born in 1971, and also, I guess, technically the 80s. I grew up in an era where I read a lot of pulp science fiction, read a lot of comic books, watched a lot of movies about robots and just, like, what they could do, and, they're always humanoid and had, like, like, were strong or had laser beam eyes or things like that. And there's something about the giant robot and plus robots fighting that just kind of appeals to that inner child of mine. And like I said, I do have a gaming group that I've been around for several decades. We've spent our vast majority of my life with my gaming group, and so this is one of those games that totally appeals to that nature of ours. There's just it's yelling, it's cursing at your supposed teammate that you worked out a deal before the game or even during the game. It is cheering poor dice rolls of your opponents and cursing your own poor dice rolls. And, there's a lot of randomness. I mean, obviously you're relying on the cards that you draw and also the dice rolls as well. But there is some good tactics and strategy to be found within the game. You do have the ability to, discard cards, and that is a huge thing. I mean, discarding... There's going to be cards that aren't going to be any good for you because of the fact they rely on a really poor score of yours. But you hold on to those because the ability to re-roll your attacks is huge, and it's a very important thing. And so it isn't one of those things where those cards are worthless to you or anything like that. And I should mention that you do have the option to discard cards before you draw new ones, but there really isn't a hand limit. The reason you might want to discard cards is there are certain abilities and certain things that robots can do that actually are dependent upon the number of cards in your hand. And so if you want to limit that in some way, you can do that. I mean, because of the fact that you're only at best getting rid of 2 cards in your hand, and you're always going to be drawing at least 3, you are going to have a lot of cards in your hand eventually. But it really doesn't matter too much because of the fact that, like I said, this game is very quick, it's very brutal, and it's very fast, and so it doesn't last a long time. 15 hit points might seem like a lot, but when like 2 or 3 people decide to punch your robot for 2 or 3 points of damage each on successive turns, it does tend to speed up the process as far as kicking you out of the game. But that's where, like, I think the game beyond the game comes in, because you need to be kind of fast on your feet, and you need to make sure that, one, you have like some sort of keeping cards ready for defense, but also you need to be able to be talking to the people at the table and saying, hey, look, you and me will work together, let's take out this guy. Okay, you and me, okay, we get this guy. And then as soon as they trust you, that's of course when your robot comes up and punches them in the back of the head. But that's all part of the fun of Punch 'Em Scrunch'Em robots. So if you're looking for a relatively light, heavy thematic game that has some fun card play and a lot of dice rolls, I definitely suggest you check this out. It's got some cool things going on. I love the idea of just these no reason whatsoever why these 6 robots are going to this planet to go beat the tar out of each other. But the idea of these 6 Goliaths just tearing each other asunder while mountains crumble around them and things like that does like I said, appeal to that weird inner child, and like reminds me of those great movies and cartoons that I used to watch when I was a child. So go ahead, check out the game. I think you're gonna like it. If you have any questions about it, please go ahead and ask away. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I am the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.